Hi guys, it's Kamil here and I'm coming to you with a review of Aravind Adiga's new novel, Amnesty, released yesterday on 18th of February in the USA and to be released tomorrow on 20th of February in the UK. We are in between of time. Aravind Adiga is most well known for his debut novel, the 2008 winner of the Booker Prize, The White Tiger. Since then he published one interlinked short story collection between assassinations and three other novels, The Last Man in Tower in 2011, Selection Day in 2016, and this one, Amnesty, is his fourth published work of fiction. You know, if you ever had a chance to read Adiga, you know that he is a writer that always had his finger on the pulse of the most pressing social and political issues. Nothing else awaits the reader in his latest novel. Amnesty opens up in a way that, if it weren't for Adiga's name on the cover, it would be easy to mistake it for Salman Rushdie's book. The first chapter describes a fabulous, fantastical land set at a beautiful bay where mermaids, Kadal-Khani as the local name goes, live. The first chapter, fable-like atmosphere, is destroyed 2 pages later, where a new chapter begins, describing the same protagonist, Danny, now not listening to singing mermaids anymore, but carrying a vacuum cleaner, portable one, on his back, being on the way to one of the apartments he cleans in Sydney, Australia. Having this fantastical tone destroyed so early on in this novel, a reader is set on the path of investigation, trying to figure out what the hell pushed Danny to migrate to Australia, where he is just another illegal, striving for survival immigrant. Especially that it is pretty clear early on that Adiga shares my beliefs that illegal migration is almost always an act of desperation, most often taken by those who have nowhere to return to. The reader's investigation is interlinked with another one, the one led by Danny, who, after finding out that his former client was killed, is instantly confronted by his conscience. He knows who the killer is. Over the next few hours, the novel is describing, Danny will battle the conscience, knowing perfectly well that reporting the killer indirectly but without a doubt equals reporting his illegal status to Australian authorities. And he is reasonable enough to know that he cannot even count on a short fame as a hero of the day. His story will be, in the best case, reduced to a paragraph in a local free newspaper. And what's the most important, obviously, he wouldn't be even able to own it, to tell his story. Adiga is quite brutal, yet historically accurate in showcasing Australian racist past and current racial issues. Let me read you something. Sydney, a city and a civilization built on the principle of the exclusion of men and women who are not white, and which fully outgrew that principle only a generation ago. Which is to say, even if you want to stay icebox or indifferent in the presence of the other brown man, you are helpless. This is obviously brown man standing in front of the brown man. But Adiga is not the type of a writer that offers a black and white picture of the world. He wouldn't be himself if he gave us an easy target to blame. There's a clear stratification in the society. Australians versus migrants, legal migrants versus illegal migrants. Even those from the illegal group are divided between those caught and prisoned in Villawood and those trying to escape the system like Danny. The Eastern world Danny comes from is also not shown as the one with problems created only by colonizing whites. Even though there's like mantra recurring sentence, we didn't even scream when the world was stolen from us, being sort of a burial song of every being exploited, Adiga also states, On the festival days in the temples of eastern Sri Lanka, Hindu men walk over burning coals. Because that is how people in the east are. In the Dargah of Kalmunai, the Muslim faithful pierce their tongue with a metal skewer. In the heat of April, a man opens his forearm with a stiletto. Because this is how people in eastern Sri Lanka are. All through the civil war, the worst things were done in the east by people from the east to people from the east. You know, those thoughts are written in italic, so it might be also used to expose racial beliefs or self-imposed racial beliefs of Dani. Let me know what you think if you read it. Showcasing Australian immigration problems, Adiga explores the system with a faulty law, where a man like Dani, who came to Australia legally but became illegal due to overstaying his visa, has no legal path for remediation. And because of that, he and other illegal migrants are left for the exploitation. Dani's employer, an owner of a shop with an ambitions for being a modern slave owner, Australian Greek, to be ironic, offers Dani a shelter, a few square meters in his store, in the storage area, in an exchange for being his half-slave. The same man, as I said, with very clear ambition to be the modern slave owner, later on in the book would muse over advantages of employing in the future an immigrant who doesn't speak English, as that makes them less independent and limits their options of disobedience. And disobedience is understood as not following your master's rules 24/7. Dani, as many others in his situation, to survive, to stay in Australia, is in quasi-Olympic games with the system. The stake is high, his life maybe. To win, he does everything to blend in. He works on his accent, his posture, his gestures, dyes his hairs. All of that not to betray his illegal status. After a few years, he trained and perfected his game to the level that he believes he is fooling the system. In parallel, he doses the information about his status, hardly shares it with anybody. Even the closest one to him don't know he is illegal. As telling it is equal to exposing himself, showcasing his vulnerability and increasing the risk of deportation. The game with the system, though, does leave a mark. We can see a paranoia crippling in. He constantly feels he's being observed by random people. Additionally, there are various places triggering memories he doesn't want to remember, and those become a taboo, the ones he avoids for years in some cases. This paranoia caused by the crime he committed, illegal migration, interlinked with a picture of him wandering through the streets of Sydney, conducting an internal monologue, battling if to call the police to report the killer and indirectly turn himself in. All of that made me see him as a modern-day Raskolnikov. I might be wrong, and that reference to Dostoevsky might be only in my head. But Dani's girlfriend name is Sonia. Sonia with a Y, not I, but close enough, right? This is a captivating migrant narrative with big intellectual, very current themes in the background, in which the plot is driven by a crime story related to murdering of a wealthy Indian woman, Australian. You know, it's always a bit embarrassing to review a book you yourself asked to be sent for review, I did that here, if it appears to be subpar, but fortunately this is not the case with this one, definitely not. Have you read any of Aravind Adiga books? If so, what did you think? Are you planning to pick this one up? Oh, and would you be interested in me recording a video related to migrant narratives in modern literature? Lately there's been a few of those. Let me know if you want to see a video like that. Okay guys, that's it. Bye bye.